I have an expression. Luxuries once tasted become necessities. And it has been a very telling situation. That expression really covers a lot of stuff. Let me give you an example. Lauren Bezos, who was married to Jeff Bezos, got divorced. And she was married to billionaire Jeff Bezos. I'm going to explain some stuff to you in a minute. And she married this other guy, and she was married for 2 years. She was married to Bezos for, I think, almost 2 decades. See, here's something that happens, and I need to kind of warn you guys of some things that are coming up. See, once you get on this entrepreneur pathway, and once you start to see a measure of success, luxuries, once tasted, become necessities. You cannot go back to the way that you used to live. And it is my duty here at Personal Capital to give you wisdom, insights, and let you know what's happening. Because let me go ahead and share with you what has happened to me. Let's go back to 2009. 2009, I had just exited the storage auction business. I was still I was cheap, because buying storage auctions, you can get all kinds of stuff. You can get a new wardrobe, you can get living room furniture, I changed my dining room furniture like 8 times. Because, I find something better, just sell the one in my house, then go ahead and put the new one in there. And this is really, really telling to how much I have changed. I have changed quite a bit. So 2009, exiting the storage auction business. 2009, 2010, 2011, 2012, I came into life-changing money. $1.6 million. That's life-changing money. To make that in 1 year, that's life-changing money. And this is when the changes happen, because I've been in business for a while. I typically do not adjust my living standard until I've made money for 2 or 3 years, just to make sure, because luxuries, once tasted, become necessities. It's very hard to go back. It's very, very hard to go back. In 2012, I had this ideal. I'm going to retire. And I found it to be, financial independence, retire. Everyone's trying to make a lot of money so they can retire early, so they can sit around and do whatever they want to do, right? Let me go ahead and share with you one of the things that happens when you retire early. I was 43. I had retired early, but my friends, my girlfriends, the people, they didn't retire early. So this notion of retiring early without a plan, because once again, I was just like, I made all this money, I got these skills, I can retire early. I could only deal with it for about 3 or 4 months, because luxuries, once tasted, become necessities. I was used to creating, building, doing things. That was my luxury. That was the thing I had tasted, and I tremendously missed it. So I went back to doing what I was doing after 3 months of retirement, because I'm just here to say that once you enter on this path of being an entrepreneur, being successful, and doing things, you can't go back. You cannot go back to what you used to do, how you used to do it, the complete setup. This is the thing that the ex Mrs. Bezos ran into, because she had met Jeff when he was a regular guy. Then she rode with him as he built the Amazon fortune. I think she got like 30 billion in a divorce. So she was there from day one. And here's the thing. Once you experience a luxury is something that is sweet, succulent, that's something you really, really likes, and it touches your soul. It really touches you in the tender, hard to get places, because it's just so good, it's so packed, right? Once you taste that luxury, it's almost impossible. You want to start a business, you want to set up a holding company, an operating company, you want to get yourself some business credit, you want to learn how to run a business, you want to start your first online business. If you want to do that, and congratulations to you for being a person that wants more out of life, for being that person that's ready to sit down, do the work so your future can be brighter. I got some for you. Go below and enter into the Corporate Citizen Playbook, where we teach you all of that plus a lot more. Because you are not a normal, regular person. You want more out of life. You want to do more, you want to be more, you want to have more. And congratulations to you. So this link is below. Go ahead and check out this video. And then go ahead and enroll in the Corporate Citizen Playbook, where I teach you some things that you cannot Google. Can't Google it. Can't Google it at all. To go back to doing the things that you used to do before you tasted that luxury. And this is one of the things that here at Personal Capital, it is my duty, it is my insight. It's one of the things that I need to do to educate you about getting into this holding company lifestyle. One of the things that I need to educate you to make you aware of what you're stepping into. Now, once again, let's go ahead and talk about everything. Becoming a successful entrepreneur is hard. It's not something, snap your fingers and it's there. It's hard. But I'm here to tell you, to give you some inner points on what's to expect, because this is one of the things that's happened to me. I'll share it. Luxuries once tasted become necessities. I cannot live in a normal house. I just can't. I'm in the market. I'm going to be leaving here in 3 months. And I've been looking. And I'll see a house, an older house that has older kitchen, older appliances. And I'm just like, ew, I can't do it. I can't do it. Because I've been living a certain way for a long, long time. And once again, you cannot go back. Let me tell you what happens when you go back. You read these stories of these former celebrities or athletes who are doing crime. This is what happened. You had an athlete, you had a celebrity, you had a singer, and they had reached a level where they tasted that luxury, and then they fell. And because they had tasted that luxury, because they had that lifestyle, they could not go back. They resorted to crime. So I'm just kind of pointing out to you why it is such a challenge to go back. Because like I said, the next place I live is going to be very nice. It's going to be really modern. And I'm working on a plan to make that happen. Because the real estate market is starting to finally calm down a little bit, because I have been seeing absolute insanity. But once again, I think I talked about this before. The reason I have 2 cars, and I'll share the story again. I used to have a 2004 Audi S4. It's a little car with a big V8 shoved under the hood. I lowered it, I put an exhaust on it, and I tuned it. This car was fun to drive. And because I had tasted that luxury, when I drove something that didn't drive like that, I was very, very dissatisfied. I was really, really unhappy. And there was something that happened where the fuel, the gauge in the fuel tank stopped working, so I couldn't tell how much gas I had, so I had to have it fixed. So while I was having it fixed, I was renting the cars. I took those rental cars back, not once, not twice, 3, 4 times, because I couldn't stand the way that they drove. Luxuries, once tasted, become necessities. So after I got my car back, I was like, I need me a second car, because I don't ever want to go through that again. And that's how I ended up with the X5, the first X5, because I've had regular BMWs X5s, then I had the X5M, and I currently have the X5M 2017 in a Porsche. And I don't really like driving other cars because I like driving those kind of cars. And this is why I have two vehicles, because the time my car broke down and I actually had the displeasure of driving these other cars that I just didn't like. So this is to let you know that once you get a good taste of that luxury, once you get a good taste, it's hard. It's very hard to go back. For some people, it's impossible to go back. And once you go ahead and get into this, and let's talk about the mental state of the entrepreneur. Let's say right now, you're a regular person, you want to start a business, you want to do something, you want to create something, and right now you're living a regular, normal life. Let me go ahead and tell you what's going to happen. You go ahead, you get this business, you get it started, you set it up, and then the money starts to come in. Just like what happened to me in 2012, because I didn't see that coming. I didn't even see it coming. It was just like, bam, it was here. You know, one month my living expenses were $2,500. Then next month they were $5,000, because money results in action will dramatically influence you. And I got influenced, and like I said, because like this shirt was like maybe $130. 2009, 2010, 2011, there would have been no way I would have spent that money on. No, it wouldn't happen. It just wouldn't happen. 2012, I remember going to Macy's and I saw these nice shirts and they were like $90. I picked up 10 of them, I put down the credit card, and I came home and I was shocked. I was shocked that I actually did that, because once again, once you get to a certain place, once you have certain experiences, you just cannot go back to normal. So it is my duty, it is my job to let you know before you get on this holding company path, before you set up your first company, before you set up your first holding company, before you do any of that, be warned what can happen to you once you get into this. Because like I said, I've changed so much, because access will change you. Access, just having the ability to get something that you normally wouldn't have access to, can have a serious impact on your life. It can have a serious mindset. It can have a serious thing that's going to happen to you when you go ahead and you set up your business, when you set up your situation. I mean, it's going to be incredible, because I know right now you're sitting there like, Glendon, I'm me. I don't care how much money I get. I am never going to change. And to that, I would say, that's what you think. That's what you think. Just like 2012, it snuck up on me, it will sneak up on you. And this is not necessarily bad stuff. I'm just letting you know that once you get into this, once you start building those businesses and getting that income and start living the life you want to live, you can't go back. You can't go back. So what you want to do is start a business that you can have long time. What I'm doing right now, I could be 80 years old and do this. And I may very well be doing this at 80 years old because I really enjoy it. But essentially, you've got to set yourself up for a long-term situation, because if you get into a short-term situation, you get into something that's somewhat esoteric, and it's like, bam, you make a lot of money for a year or two, then the money goes away. It's going to be very, very dissatisfying. You're going to be very, very unhappy, because this is one of the reasons that before I make a lifestyle change, and like it took me many years for me to go from my lifestyle, because at one point I could have made it on $1,500 per month because I didn't have any bills and my car was paid off. So it was quite easy for me to live on $1,500. Right now, my living expenses, and that gets a little interesting because my living expenses are a little weird. I have a 2022 Porsche 911 Turbo S, $265,000 car, right? If I had a normal financial situation, my car payment would be almost $2,600 per month. But because I have somewhat of a weird situation, because essentially when I got the loan was $145,000. It's now paid down to, I only owe $29,000. So I paid down to like $115,000 in 8 months. And I don't have a lot of bills. And I would say moderately, my lifestyle expenses are about, let's just go ahead and say $8,000 per month. And when I move, they're going to go up. I would say they're going to go up about 2,000, maybe 2,000. But see, with my lifestyle expenses being $8,000 per month, it gives me a lot of room because I can go ahead and move into something and not really change my lifestyle or my monthly expenses. But my expenses are going to go up to about, I'm going to say, $10,000 to $15,000 per month. So my living expenses are going to double. And I'm being really careful about this because I thought about it, I researched it, I planned for it, I managed my money a certain way, because this may sound a little strange because I have lived in a really huge house, 5,000 square feet. And I see these houses that are 7,000, 8,000, 10,000 square feet. And I remember how I felt living in that 5,000 square foot house by myself. I only used the main level. So even though I do have the capacity to get a big ordinate, I'm just not, because it's just not me. So probably as big as I'm going to go is, I'm looking for something for 3,500, 4,000 square feet. But if I find something that has all of the elements and things I want, and it's 5,000 square feet, I'll do that. But I'm not going to be living in a 10,000 or 12,000 it's because, once again, I've had the experience. And when I lived in that 5,000 square foot house by myself, it wasn't luxury. And that's why I could let it go. But once you taste some real luxury, it's hard to let go. It's very hard to let go. So just warning you, what you're entering into as you consume the content that I put out here on Personal Capital, because it's designed to make you rich. It's designed to get you to start a business. It's designed to get you moving on that upward path of financial mobility. My goal is to get you in the top 10%. You know, the top 10% of America, there's only 30 million people. There's 335 million. So there's only 30 million people in that top 10%. And then once you start to count children and other stuff, that number, as an adult, there's only like maybe 18 million people in that number as adults. So the numbers get really small when you look at it from that perspective. But my goal is to get you in that top 10%. And so to do that, I got something for you. The Corporate Citizen Playbook, where I teach you how to set up a holding company, an operating company, get your corporate banking, teach you how to set up your first company, and how to get moving and motivated. So go below, the link's below, check that out. And I will see you guys in the next